Moving to Australia can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. The Move to Australia directory from Smart Steps to Australia brings together all the essential services you need into one convenient place, making it easier to find the right professionals to turn your dream into reality. Whether you're looking for a trusted migration agent, competitive shipping quotes, guidance on buying your first home, or help relocating your beloved pet, our directory has it all. We've curated the best services to support your new life in Australia. Find everything you need to make your move stress-free, with experts just a click away. Visit directory.smartstepstoaustralia.com and simplify your relocation journey today.
Welcome to the New Life in Australia podcast, hosted by me, Karen Bleakley, founder of smartstepstoaustralia.com. Moving to Australia with my family was a life-changing experience, but it wasn't without its challenges. That's why I'm passionate about making the relocation and resettlement process easier for you so you can enjoy this exciting adventure. Join me and my special guests as we share professional secrets and tips, learn from people who've made the move, and discover businesses that can help you realise your dreams. Now is the best time to create the life you've always wanted. This podcast is here to show you what's possible and to inspire you every step of the way. Let's go.
Let's take a moment to acknowledge the Gubbi Gubbi people, the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which I live, work and play. I thank them for the privilege of being able to live in such an incredible part of the world, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Hey there, Karen here. Welcome to this week's episode of the New Life in Australia podcast. So this week's episode is how much do you really need to budget for your move to Australia, and is it really worth it? We're going to dive deep into all of the different major costs that you need to budget for when you make the move to Australia. Now, some of the costs I can give you costs what they cost us. Other costs you'll need to go away and get quotes for and research. Some of the costs you may or may not need yourself. So listen along, and I will link to any other useful blog posts that I've got on this topic as well, so that you can have a look and you can make your own budget list of what it's going to cost you to move to Australia. When we made the decision to move to Australia, we had zero idea how much the relocation was going to cost us. We really had no idea at all. So I do think it really does help to sit down and work out, is this something that you can afford? Is this something that's financially viable? Because there are a lot more costs than we expected in making the move. Making the move is a financial commitment. There are short-term costs and long-term costs, and obviously long-term projections of costs when you get over to Australia, thinking about how much your new lifestyle is going to cost you. But for this episode, we're really diving deep into the costs of actually the relocation aspect of making the move. Then after, we'll circle back around to talk about, is it actually worth it? Are those costs that you're going to be making in investing in your move across the world going to be worth the investment? Okay, let's dive straight into what are the main costs that you're going to need to budget for your move. Visas. Now, visas are something that you can't get away from. You have to budget for those costs, and I'll pop links to the Home Affairs price list of visas in the show notes here as well, so that you can have a look and work out what the costs of different visas are. Now, in working this out, you really need to know what visa it is that you're looking at moving over on. So currently the cost of a 189 skilled independent visa is $4,910, with additional costs for any additional applicants, whether they're over 18 or under 18. There is a handy calculator on the Home Affairs website, so I will link to that there, and you can put in the details of your family size and it will come out and tell you the total cost of your visa. Visa costs do change, they do increase. Actually, the year that we decided to make the move to Australia, visa costs really exponentially increased an awful lot. So we lost out, we ended up paying out more than the people the year before us. But be prepared, visa costs do go up. So it is always worth getting started and moving things forward as quickly as you can while you know what the costs are right now. As part of your visa application, you're also going to incur costs for things like your skills assessment, your police checks and your medicals. So bear those in mind when you're putting together your list of your budget for your visas. Migration agent fees. These are an optional extra. You don't have to use a migration agent for your visa application if you feel like you have a really straightforward situation. In my opinion, the cost that a migration agent charges is worth every single penny. I found it a really, really wise investment for us. You're appointing a professional to help you with your move, and your visa is the most important part of your move. So I'm really 100% behind investing in a migration agent. What I will just say with migration agent fees is just to fully understand everything that you're being quoted for so that you can work out whether you need all of the services that you're being quoted for. So sometimes migration agents can lump together different fees for different services, and you may not need all of those services. So just be mindful of what is on the list of fees charged by the migration agent. Now, all migration agents have different fee structures, so that I'm not going to talk about how much you should be spending. I've got a blog post where I list what the fees were that we paid, but that was 10 years ago, so things will be different now. And different agents do charge different amounts. Shipping costs is another expense. Now, you may or may not decide to ship your belongings to Australia. I've got a form on my website where you can get up to 5 shipping quotes. I really do encourage you to get definitely a handful of quotes because you want to compare like for like. You want to compare what the costs different companies are suggesting and also get a feel for which company feels like the right fit for you. It's not only about going for the cheapest option. I've also got a link to give you 5% off Send My Bag. So if you're considering just sending a bag or box or two in addition to your suitcases that you're travelling with, then that can be a really great option just to take over a few belongings with you. Whether it's financially worth shipping your belongings or not is a whole different podcast episode. To be honest, I don't think it particularly saves you money one way or the other, whether you sell all your belongings and move over with nothing and replace it over here, or whether you ship your belongings and use those belongings when you get here. I think both have costs associated with them. And for us, we personally wanted to ship our belongings because we had things that we were attached to, and I felt like it would help us settle in quicker to have our own belongings with us. There's sites like Gumtree and eBay and Facebook Marketplace here, so you can actually replace lots of things secondhand when you get here if you need to. And we also have shops like IKEA. So actually, the reality is that it's quite easy to move over with just a suitcase and start fresh. As part of your shipping costs, you also need to allocate insurance costs. So if you're shipping a container of belongings, you can also get that insured so that if anything's damaged in transit, you're covered. We had quite a few things damaged in transit, so it was really important that we had insurance. It paid out really quickly and it was so worth it. We didn't take out the shipping insurance that was recommended by our shipping company. We went for an external company and it was an awful lot cheaper. Another insurance cost to budget for is one-way insurance. That provides you with just various cover for while you're in transit and getting settled in your new life in Australia. It's also helpful if you're going to be travelling around in a transit destination as well. I've got an affiliate link with Go Walkabout Insurance where you can receive 5% discount on your one-way insurance as well. I've also got a blog post all about why you might want to consider taking out one-way insurance, so I'll pop a link to that below as well. Now, flights, obviously you need to allocate money for flights. Your price of your flights really does vary a lot on the season and when you're actually booking and how late in the day you're making that booking. So be aware, do some research. When you're checking out prices, it's always a really good idea to do it in incognito mode on your browser. You can Google how to search in incognito mode on your internet just to figure out how you do that, but it really does help stop any tracking links. Sometimes when you visit a page for some flights and then you come back to that page again, you might find that the price has been hiked up quite a bit because it knows that you've been looking at those flights. So when you search in incognito mode, it just allows you to search fresh every time. People on both camps, some people love to book through a booking agent and other people prefer to book directly on an airline website. I think there's pros and cons to both options. For me personally, I really like to book on the airline's own website. If the flight gets changed or there's a problem, I can go straight to the airline to discuss it. But as I say, some people really do value having their hands held and having a booking agent involved in making the booking so that they've got more of a personalised contact to reach out to if there are any problems. No right or wrong way, just different ways of doing it. Another cost to budget for is pet shipping. If you're going to be wanting to bring your cat or dog with you, then reach out to some pet shippers, get some quotes for those. The price that you will pay will really depend on the animal and the weight and size of the animal, so you'll need to get personalised quotes for that as well. Just a smaller figure that you might not have thought about is allocating transport costs to and from the airport at either end. When we were coming to travel to Australia from England, we knew that we needed to hire a big taxi with a luggage trailer to get us, the 5 of us, and all of our luggage to the airport. It wasn't something that family members could fit in their cars because there were 5 of us with an awful lot of suitcases. So we ended up paying for a taxi with a luggage trailer, both to get to the airport in London and also from Brisbane back to our holiday home that we'd booked as well. We didn't feel like we wanted to tackle picking up a hire car in the middle of the night when we arrived. We knew we'd be really exhausted. We knew we wouldn't have the capacity to figure out how to fit car seats and things, and we just wanted it to be as easy as possible for when we arrived. So, as I say, we booked another big taxi with luggage trailer to take us to our holiday home, and then we hired a hire car from the next day. You've got options like Uber. Just be aware, obviously, if you're travelling with an awful lot of luggage, you need to allocate extra car space for all of your luggage. Then the last of the big expenses for your relocation is your arrival accommodation. The options for that are to look on Airbnb and short-term accommodation websites like Stays. You've also got websites like booking.com, which is really great for holiday homes. Or if you prefer, you may decide to appoint a relocation agent to help you find a long-term rental right away. Now, this can be a really great cost-saving measure because although you're investing in the help of a relocation agent, they will help you with the whole process. They'll view the properties for you. They'll help you with your application process. So while there are costs involved in hiring a relocation agent, they really do take so much stress off your shoulders. And imagine if you can just literally arrive in Australia, move into your long-term rental, and that's it. You're all settled. That is one major thing off your to-do list. It also saves you that budget of that expensive holiday accommodation, which you're probably going to need for at least 4 weeks when you first arrive. So those are the main expenses you're going to be paying out for when you're planning your move. You've got your visas, you've got your migration agent fees, you've got shipping costs, you've got shipping insurance, one-way insurance, flights, pet shipping, transport costs, and arrival accommodation costs or relocation agent costs. That's it really for your moving expenses, but then you have expenses for your arrival as well. There are essential expenses for getting settled into your new life. These are things like your hire car when you first arrive, or I really now recommend a car subscription because that really does take a lot of pressure off your shoulders. You can take on a car subscription for a period of a few weeks. I've got a great episode for you to listen to with Carly Car Subscription, so have a listen to that. And they've also got an offer off your first month's car subscription as well, so that can be a really great way to save some money. But you do need to figure out some transport for when you arrive, so a hire car or a car subscription needs to be on your budget list. While you're getting settled, you need to be looking into buying cars. So whether that's used cars or new cars, you need to be budgeting for how much that's going to cost you to buy a vehicle. If you've got kids, you're going to need to be investing in car seats. Now, it's really important that you get those in Australia so that they're legally compliant in Australia. We debated about bringing ours with us and then realised that the ones we had in the UK weren't compliant in Australia, so it would have been completely useless to have brought them with us. So getting car seats in Australia is something you can do in your first few days in Australia. And if you're hiring a car, you can also hire car seats to keep you going in the meantime. Even if you're shipping some belongings to Australia, there's a really good chance you're going to need to invest in some furniture and some household basics when you first get here because your shipping container likely won't have arrived yet. Simple things like a table and chairs, beds, sofas, those kind of things are really important to get set up in your new house. What quite a lot of people do is they buy an outdoor furniture set and then they actually use that as a dining room set until their shipping containers arrived with their actual belongings in it. So new furniture, new household basics, then you're going to be needing to invest in new things like electronics, like TVs, DVD players, things like that. You'll also be needing to replace things that you got rid of before you made the move. So even if you're sending a shipping container, there's a really good chance you got rid of things like your lawnmower, your vacuum cleaner, cleaning gear, bins, all of that kind of stuff you're going to need to replace in Australia. There's lots of shops to go to, but Facebook Marketplace is a great place to buy some secondhand goods. We bought a brilliant fridge freezer online on Marketplace for about $500 when we first arrived, and actually 10 years on, it's still going strong. We've still got so many of those things we bought in that first few weeks, things like TV cabinets, bookcases and things like that. So it really is useful to buy things secondhand online, and it saves you a lot of money too. In addition to all of those things that you need to buy when you first arrived, you're going to need to be allocating rental costs, so for your first month's rent and for your bond to secure a property. Then you're going to be needing to update your household supplies and restock your pantry. You're starting from scratch, so you need everything from pasta and rice to herbs and spices. Then there's all of those admin costs, like getting your driving licence set up in your new state and setting up health insurance if you decide that you need it or if your visa requires it, and also life insurance. Not to mention you've got living costs, general living costs for daily expenses. So especially if you don't have a job straight away, you're going to be spending out while you're just getting settled. You'll be out and about doing lots of admin and doing things like picking up your bank cards and setting up Medicare and different things like that. So you'll be eating out more often than not. So allow yourself a chunk of money for some living costs in that first month while you arrive in Australia. So how much will it all cost you? Really, it's impossible to put a definite price on this. It depends how many people are moving with you, which extra services you decide to use, like migration agents. Are you going to be shipping your pet? Are you going to be shipping your belongings? How many things are you bringing with you? How many things are you replacing? How many cars do you need to buy in Australia? It's definitely an expensive price tag to make the move to Australia. But now we come around to the question of, is it worth it? We definitely took a big hit financially when we moved to Australia. It really did cost us a big chunk of money, both for the actual moving process and also for the resettlement when we were first here as well. If we'd chosen to stay in Hampshire in the UK where we were, by now we would have nearly paid off our mortgage, whereas here we are in Australia with quite a big mortgage and many years left on it. But is it worth it? For me, yes, it really, really was worth it. We have a completely different lifestyle. I love living here. I would not change it for the world. It's been such a crazy, wild adventure. We have had some of the best experiences in the last 10 years. And I know that we've got so many more to look forward to. Our kids have a great lifestyle here. They've had some amazing opportunities that we just couldn't have given them back in the UK. Moving to Australia really did give us a sense of freedom. It showed us that we were capable of anything that we put our minds to, and you can't put a price on that. I know that money is important, but you can always make more money. There is always the opportunity to make more money, but you can never replace the time. For us, it has most definitely been worth it to make the move to Australia, and I would not change a thing. Of course, for you, is it worth it? You need to weigh up what you want from your future. How do you want your future to look? Do you want your future to look similar to how it looks now in 5 or 10 years? Or do you want to have a huge adventure? There is so much to think about, but for me, absolutely, it was worth it. So if you're considering making the move, I do really encourage you to sit down and write a budget, think about all the costs involved in making the move, because it just helps you stay on track and stay organised. I think it's also really worth mentioning it's a good idea to have a contingency for your budget, because things always cost a lot more than you expect them to. I won't say that you need to move over to Australia with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Obviously that can help for sure, but I think when you make the move and you're determined enough, you figure things out as you go. So I hope that this episode has helped you gain some control and figure out some of the costs involved in making the move. It really is all about just understanding the big picture so that you can go into it all with your eyes wide open and staying organised. If you want some more help with the planning, don't forget I've got an ultimate immigration checklist bundle that will help you with all of that. I'll pop a link to that in the show notes here. And yes, there are lots of costs involved in making the move, but I feel like it's just an investment into your future, and you're worth investing in. So I really do feel like it's well worth the spend. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Look out for the rest of the episodes in this series. And in the meantime, let's get building your new life in Australia, one episode at a time.